Hello and happy Halloween! I have a spooky build for you today, which, I mean, the original idea was to build a house in the shape of a coffin, but then I realised that you can't really do that because of the angles of the game. The wall angles, it doesn't work for that. So what I did instead was I built this is actually a residential lot, but it is a graveyard which houses mini gravestones, but also 3 mausoleums. And then one of those mausoleums has a hidden, well, it's not really hidden, but there is a basement. There is a ladder that goes down into a basement which has a house in it. And the lot, I do end up changing the lot into a actual haunted house. What's it called? A haunted house residential. So it is haunted. There's little ghosties that'll be about, and obviously, you know, plenty of graves. And each of the the 3 mausoleums themselves, they both house 2 graves. Not 2 graves, 2 coffins in them, and they're pretty much the same. They're pretty much, you know, all the same. However, I do have the difference is obviously the coffins on the inside are different colours from each other. The statues that you can see I'm putting out on them now, all 3 mausoleums have different statues on them, and then I use the signs from, what's it called, Get to Work and Die Now. I use those signs, and I use 3 different ones, and I put them onto the mausoleums almost as if it has like the family name on it, because all the pictures of mausoleums I found, they all have, you know, the name of the family that is in the mausoleum is, you know what I mean. So they all have different names on them. Yeah, also there is a whole section where I am sat there scrolling for hours, not literally hours, but for a really long time through debug, trying to find the gravestones. Because every time I typed in grave or tombstone, nothing was coming up. So I had to go through the hell of searching through debug for a long time to find the tombstones, but I finally found them. Yeah, and I really like it, and I hope you guys like the screenshots as well. I think I got some really nice screenshots in the end. I took the screenshots at night time, and mainly because then all the little ghosties all appeared, and yeah, so that's what I did, and I think it looks good. This is also built in, obviously, the Vampire World Forgotten Hollow, so it's in the prime location for a spooky build, so to speak. So yeah, I like it. Also, I wasn't originally going to do 3 mausoleums. I was just going to do the 1, but then I realised that, I mean, normally if a graveyard has mausoleums in it, there would be multiple mausoleums for starters. And then B, I don't know, I think it was just going to look a little bit too empty, I guess, if there was only like 1 of them. So I did put 2 other ones in there. I don't know, I think it just worked better with the 3 mausoleums. And then there's a section with graves, and then obviously there's a fountain right in the middle. There's also a few benches. Obviously if you're visiting your loved ones, you can sit on the benches for a rest, or if you were me and my mother, you just go and sit in a graveyard because why not? And let the dog off the lead and go and chase some squirrels. That's kind of a thing. Yeah, but I don't know, in the end I just think it looks really nice, and I really like the screenshots of it. So yeah, can't wait to show you those as well. So I did send a picture of it to my mom, and my mom was like, yeah, I would visit in that graveyard. So oh yeah, look, I haven't opened debug since I got all of the packs, and so I'm going through and just like clicking through all of the debug items. Yeah, that was fun to do in real time. I love having sped up version. It looks like it took no time at all, but in reality that's not true. But yeah, I haven't opened debug in a long time, so I'm clicking through everything. Yeah, but I think it really starts coming together once I put the other two mausoleums in and start adding, you know, the plant and more terrain paint and things. Yeah, I think it all comes together nicely in the end, and I'm really proud of it, and I really like it. And yeah, and happy Halloween again. It's like the best time of the year, and who doesn't love Halloween? I mean, I love Halloween. I love being able to buy things for my house easily, because normally if I want to buy decorations and things, I have to go online and order it all offline, and then sometimes things will arrive to me and it doesn't really look like what it looked like online, and so I'm sad. But actually having Halloween about is I can actually go into stores and find things, and then if I don't like it, then I would know straight away because I would see the actual item and have it in my hand and all. And then obviously there's a few stores that do really unique kind of pieces as well, so those are always fun to go to too. Also I have surgery recently, and my surgery was a fair distance from my house. You know, I had to get 2 buses. Thankfully my mum came with me because yeah, I'm not so good at leaving the house on my own, and even when I do leave the house on my own, it's a horrible experience. So thankfully my mum did come to the hospital with me to get my surgery done, and she came with me as well the other day to get some new dressing put on as well. So my mum's pretty great, not just for that reason, but just in general. My mum's pretty great anyway. Yeah, but one of the times we went around the town for a bit, and there was this like craft store, like homemade crafts and stuff, and there was some really good stuff and really cute stuff, and some witchy stuff, which is my mum's forte. I don't know how she managed to resist buying most of the stuff. Yeah, I don't know how, but she managed to somehow. But yeah, there was some really good stuff in that store, and I know that if my mum and I had infinite amount of money, we would just buy pretty much everything in that store. I haven't really got the room for a lot of the stuff, but I would have it just so I have it, you know. I'm kind of one of those people, which is not good for my bank account, but it's fine. It's okay. But yeah, here I am. I'm just putting all the grades in now. There are some slight changes in the placement, like the grave placement, like those two under the tree, the placement of those change, and I do end up finding the other gravestones. I don't know why they weren't coming up when I was searching for them, but I did find them in the end, and I do put a couple of those around, not too many because I already had all of these, and because they're from debug and they're gravestones, you can't actually delete them after you place them, which is really annoying. But yeah, so I had to keep what I had out, but I was able to find the other ones and just put a couple of those about, because I wanted those ones in the first place, you know, for like shape variation and stuff, but I couldn't find them at first, and I don't know why I couldn't find them at first. I just couldn't. So yeah, the mausoleum I'm putting in now is actually the one that we turn into the house. I guess you would call it a house. It's kind of just like a spooky dungeon. I don't know, but I kind of thought about the idea, like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, obviously all the vampires live in like the sewers and that kind of stuff, but like literally in the first ever episode, one of the entrances to the vampire kind of like hideout kind of thing is through the mausoleum. So yeah, that's kind of where the idea of it came from. The entrance to the where the vampire lives in the mausoleum, I guess. Well, you don't have to be a vampire to live here, you know, you could just be a spooky person and live here, and it's fine, you know, because it still works out nicely. But yeah, look, this is me just changing all the signs up on the mausoleums as well to put different family names on it. And yeah, ultimately I really like it. I think it is a nice mix between spooky but also kind of, I don't know, it still looks really nice though, because obviously people come in here to mourn their loved ones and to put their loved ones to rest. So you want somewhere that's still kind of, still a little bit inviting. But again, because it's Halloween, we're trying to make it a little bit spooky too. But I think it's a good mix between that kind of spooky yet invite, like you don't want to be here. Obviously, it's not really like an ideal place to come, but it's still got that good mix. You know, oh yeah, this was me checking to make sure the coffin wasn't floating, because for a second it was floating and I didn't see it stop floating, so I was just checking, so don't mind that. But yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about. Yeah, I don't know. I did put some lights around places as well, but obviously in the mausoleums themselves, I kind of just put candles in, because I wouldn't think that a mausoleum would have nice fancy lights in it. I don't really know. I've never even been in a mausoleum, like a real one before, so I haven't got a clue. I mean, I've been to many a graveyard in my life, but never a mausoleum, so I don't know. I could be completely wrong with that, but I wouldn't have thought that they would have nice lights in them. I don't know. But yeah, so other than the one that I put the basement in to have a house, the other two mausoleums are pretty much the same. Yeah, they just contain 2 coffins each, and some candles to light it up a little bit. Yeah, and then this is me going through the hell of trying to put a basement underneath this, because for some reason you can't build it directly underneath, but then if you build it next to it and then drag it over, you can do it. I don't understand. It's just one of those Sims things, I guess. Yeah, I was going to put these hanging lights in there first, but then I was like, it looks too cozy. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, I do just end up putting candles. I do use these chandeliers downstairs though. Also, that ladder is usable. You can get down into the house just fine, without any problems, so don't worry about that. You can really easily access the house part of this. Yeah, because I did test it. And obviously I had the game playing when I was taking screenshots to get the little like ghosties. What are they called? They're called specters, but they're little ghosties. Yeah, but obviously as well, if you know of a way, obviously I guess if you have like cheats on and you shift click the graves and click destroy, you can get rid of them and replace them with real graves, and then you would have like actual ghosts walking around as well. So yeah, you can edit it that way, I guess. Also, that's my sim self stood over there looking really good. So yeah, my sim self is the one who owns this graveyard house. Which makes a lot of sense, really, to be honest. Yeah, but I'm just going around doing a little bit of where have I forgotten the word? What's the word for it? Landscaping. I'm adding some landscaping. Yeah, and a couple of benches just around the place. I do end up putting some outdoor lights as well. There's a light above the doors of each of the mausoleums, and then there's a couple of lights around where the benches are, just to light it up a little bit. And unfortunately those light posts that I put out the front, they don't light up, which is really sad. However, I did learn a thing. Those gates from vampires, at night time their eyes glow. And I did not know that, so I learned something new about that. The eyes of those gates glow red, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that was a fun thing to notice. And I'm really sad that those lights at the front don't light up, but it's fine. It could be worse, I suppose. Yeah, I think I'm almost going in to do the, I don't know what you would call it, the little house, basement house, I don't know, tomb, crypt, I don't know. Oh no, the lights are above the statues. Okay, they're not above the door, but it's fine. It's okay. Yeah, I think I've finished doing the outside before I even think about turning the little basement area into a house. So yeah, this is me checking out at night, and I think it looks really great, and turning into obviously the haunted house. But yeah, I didn't want to light it up too much because again, it's a spooky graveyard, and this is just me checking with my sim self that you can go down there, and I kept it in the video just to prove to you that your sim self can go down there. And also it's really fun when you have the little spectres around and stuff, because the lights do flicker, so it really adds to like the creepy candle thing. And then yeah, this is just me going through. I basically put the filters for vampires, realm of magic, paranormal, and werewolves on, and I just picked out all of the furniture for the house using those filters. So it is literally just built with those things, although the outside is built with other things, so don't mind that. But the house itself is built just using those things. But yeah, I think it looks fine in the end. I'm just picking out everything that I want to use. Basically, this is just what this is. And then I put it all into my Sims inventory and then build the actual house part. So, yeah, so even though this could very well easily be just like a vampire's house, which it would make sense, there is a full bathroom and a full kitchen, and an actual bed down there. I mean, there's coffins upstairs if you want to sleep in a coffin, but there's an actual bed down here as well. So you don't have to be a vampire to live in this house, but obviously if you want to be, then it is kind of like the ideal house for a vampire when you think about it, being underneath a mausoleum, which I think the other word for mausoleum is a crypt. So if you don't know what the word mausoleum is, then it is crypt. Which when I started building this, I did not realize I did not know how to spell the word mausoleum. It's a weird word. It's like M-A-U or something. I don't know. It's a confusing word to spell, but yeah. Also, that little cauldron I just put down by the fireplace, in this mode, if you turn that on, because it's like a light, it projects little ghosties floating around it. So if you didn't know that, that's what you can do with our little cauldron. I think that's from Spooky Stuff. I think that came in. So if you didn't know that, then you can do that, because that's quite fun as well. Oh, and I put a whole like seance room down here too, which I thought was pretty cool of an idea. And obviously all of the walls and flooring down here are bricks and stone and stuff, because I mean you're underground, you're not really gonna have the luxuries of like carpet and things down here. So but yeah, I think it just adds to the kind of whole vibe of the house, to keep that kind of brick and stone kind of look, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, also none of these are the final colours. I just put all the furniture in where I want it, and then I go in and I choose the colours. It's a bit of a weird way of doing it, but that's the way I did do it. So yeah, all the colours and things do change. And in the end I don't end up having a rug underneath the dining table. I couldn't pick one that would fit and looked nice and wasn't the same as the other rugs in their house, so I just left it without a rug. But I don't think that's a problem. I think that's fine. I mean, you'll just have to wear socks down here because it might be cold. I don't know. I'm sure you'll be fine, but yeah, in the end it looks It looks good, and it's fully functional. Everything in here works. So that's the, I don't know, I guess that's the important bit. Also, this living room, disregard it, ends up changing significantly. It kind of all gets flipped to the other side, kind of thing. So ignore the living area for a little bit. The kitchen and stuff stays, but the actual like couches and stuff, because I ended up putting a television down here. So I do flip it a little bit because I didn't want to put the television above the fireplace, because the fireplace is really tall, and if you put a television on it and then if you were sitting on the couch, you would really have to crane your neck to look up there. And I also liked how these 3 pictures looked up above the fireplace. Like, those frames are really nice. Like, I would have those frames in real life. But yeah, and yeah, I put all the little like collectibles and stuff you can get from Werewolves up on this shelf, because they all match the vibe, and I don't really care much about going around and trying to collect it all. And obviously, because it's a spooky house, we have to have the picture of Vlad up on the wall, so he is there. I was going to use this paranormal desk, but I remember I do actually change that desk out into a different desk. Yeah, and I didn't want everything to be like so black, so I did add a couple colors into it. I added a bit of blue, and I think a little bit of red as well, but it's mostly kind of the color pops from the color blue. I do add blue, and obviously like the dining chairs are blue, the kitchen is actually green. Yeah, I think I leave the bathtub I leave in the red swatch, because it's the only one with the dark curtain. All of the other curtains are like really like white, but I wanted the dark curtain, so technically the bathtub is red, but you can't really see it, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, and I wanted a different desk. I think I picked something a bit more fancy, yeah, and I just wanted something a little bit bigger so I can add some more clutter and stuff on it. So this is basically where I flip the living room around. I turn it almost completely because I wanted the TV in here, so that's what I did. I flipped it all around so I can have so I can fit a television. But it was worth it in the end, and it looks good. And I used the little sugar skulls you can get from Debug. I put those on the table underneath the screen, so I put 3 of them. I can't remember their names. They all have different names. I think one of them is called Joel. So they all have different names, but yeah, they're really cute. I really like them, so I added those in, and I'm pretty much coming to the end now, so I'm gonna leave. And I hope you enjoyed the screenshots. But yeah, this is on my gallery, so my gallery ID is always down below, so you can go and download it if you want to. And I hope you enjoyed the video, so bye.